Hey everybody, Jason here for RPGaDay, sorry about that, 2018. Question number 15, and the question is, describe a tricky RPG experience you enjoyed. And I thought about this, and I've been thinking about this for the past couple of days, and I've been watching other people's videos on this, and I've heard some really interesting responses and things, but I couldn't think of anything super tricky about an experience that I enjoyed. Can't really think of anything super tricky really at all anyway. So I decided to do an alternate question, and this is a good one. What appeals to you about GM-less games with no GM? And I've never actually played a game with no GM. So you're probably wondering, why did you pick that question? Well, I would like to play a game with no GM. The thought of that appeals to me because it makes me feel like, and this is just completely hypothetical because I've never played, and I've got a game right here actually, the Valiant Universe role-playing game, the superhero game from Valiant Comics, or Catalyst Game Labs, is GM-less, but it's a superhero game. But anyway, the idea of a GM-less game to me is appealing because it makes me feel like players who would not normally do a lot of role-playing would have a couple of options here. Either one, it might help them step up and come out of their shell and become a better role player because they're sort of controlling the GM characters for a while, but not so intense that it's a full campaign or a full run adventure. It's just, certain aspects of it, are GM-less. And two, it can give everybody a break from it can give whoever the normal GM is a break from having to run everything. I guess the Valiant game is probably a unique situation where I shouldn't. I guess that's probably a bad thing. It's not GM-less. Every scene in the game, each player takes a turn being the GM, so it's not GM-less. In a sense, it is. I guess that's a really. I'm sorry. I guess I'm confusing this, making this more convoluted than it should be. But anyway, the idea of a GM-less game for me is interesting because I feel like there's no GM to push the story along, so the players have to step up to push the story along. Whether it's Valiant or not, that's not the important part. For me, I feel like if there's no GM to push the story, the players all have to step up and do their part to push the story along, and it can help strengthen somebody's storytelling abilities if they're not really good at it or don't do it very often. So, and that's probably just one minor little side of GM-less games. That's one aspect of it. I'm sure there are a lot of other aspects of it that would be appealing if I did a little more research into it, and that I would find those things, awesome also and appealing. But that's my hopefully quick and somewhat short answer, since I'm trying to knock out 3 videos at once. So, apologize that these videos are not super detailed and in-depth today, but I appreciate everybody watching, and I appreciate everybody that gets involved in RPGaDay 2018, and I look forward to hearing more answers and more questions and things like that. So take care, everybody. See ya.